In today's video, we're going to be talking about one important topic here, which is loyalty. Loyalty and respect for certain machines that brought us far from where we start. And today, we are now like this. JW Solar USA, live from Minnesota Command Center. Stay tuned. I have a long time friend, loyal, very grateful, serving with dignity. And this is no other friend than what we have here. Dun, 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 dun. Bang! Check this out. Cotek pure sine wave inverter. Here we go. For those of you who have known me for 6 years plus, when I came into the YouTube land, finally shooting my videos and started making things, started upgrading myself from 12 volts. I started with lead acid batteries, which are the Coulomb. Coulomb were my first batteries where I was doing all my stuff. I never started with flooded acid batteries. I started with the lead batteries and AGM batteries and all the way to lithiums, and never touch flooded acid batteries. Doesn't mean they are not good batteries, and the respect, integrity, and for these companies, I give it to them. Because flooded acid battery, if it wasn't there, we can't even drive our cars. They're always there with us. We go everywhere. But when it comes to solar, I will not go with them. I'm not going to say I will not recommend them, because everybody has a choice what they're supposed to do, or what they would like to do, what they can afford. But in today's video, this guy, after coming up from all Cobra and different inverters, and in the market there at that time, solar was very, very, very expensive. Like I keep telling people, back in my day, my videos, I used to tell when solar was very, very expensive back in the 80s, which is like a $10, approximately $10 a watt. And for those of you who have been around, or who hasn't started on solar back in the day, and it's really hard to understand, but we've come too far. Now you can buy solar panels just for a few cents, 25 cents a watt, and much cheaper, 19 cents. We've seen panels like those. But this guy was my first 48 volt inverter with the remote, and not just a 48 volt, it went all the way to 60 volt, 42 nominal, which is almost from that side, and all the way to 60 volt. I used to talk about this a lot. If you go back into my videos and go on my playlist and try to check on the Cotek, I might not probably arrange it in a playlist, but if you go on the playlist, you keep looking all the way down, because you're going to be going down almost about 14 going to 1500 videos, or JW Solar USA Cotek videos, you might see it. And this guy was my first 60 volt. It was only one guy on YouTube I know that was going 60 volts, going off grid in Canada. He was the one running 60 volt. To be honest with you, all the videos I've seen, he was the one talking about 60 volt inverters how he runs his system. But he started small, so, and with other charge controllers and EP ever, whatever, those kind of stuff, and or track tracer. But he was talking later when he went to lithiums. He was talking about 60 volt. I would like to give it to him because it's a long time ally, it's a long time friend going off grid, and which is he's doing some work right now, building his home. Check out his videos and tell him JW Solar USA introduced you or sent you to his channel to subscribe. But he was the one doing it till I got the opportunity to come along or come across this 60 volts. I wasn't looking for that. Okay, it's just a 48 volts and it was going 60 volts, but it liked to do all these batteries and all that stuff and go into that kind of voltage. I understand high voltage is very efficient, but we don't have the machine that time. But to be honest with you, God has a plan. Then he brought this right on my door. And I talked a lot about this Cotek. I talk a lot about this Cotek inverter, how efficient, how powerful this machine is. It's very reliable, energy saving thing. It's have a GFCI output or outlet, which makes this machine much safer. Even if you're trying to overload it, it's gonna trip. And it has a dip switch where you can dip switch functionality. You can able to set this thing for frequency for 50 and 60 hertz. And I was using it as a power saving mode. You can switch that button. This is the first machine I had that has the power saving mode, which all of my inverters now, like the one I showed first, the Magnum, the Victron, the Outbacks, all of them has this functionality. But Cotek is almost part of was Samlex. So this guy is very expensive back then, and they still. And if you see on Samlex are not cheap at all. And you can see it has a switcher. You can put it off, in the middle, on, off, or remote, which you can able to power from the back here. You have a remote. I never bought that display or function where I can able to turn it on and off. And it's use a small wire, and it runs the voltage from 42 volt to 60 volt at 30 amps. This is not an inverter charger. This is just an inverter. It's a 1000 watts or kilowatt inverter. It's a very sweet machine here. I have dumped this thing or saved it somewhere. I finally found it. With all this, a lot of equipment I have. It has a huge heat sink here. You can see it's kind of built really good. And you can able to hang this thing or mount it. So I think I end up having two of them back then. I think the one I had, the 48 volts, I end up buying another 48 volt, which is a 600 watt. And it has a huge terminals here with a copper aluminum, something like that, or steel, tin copper plated. And it has a ground log right here and a fan. This fan controlled by thermal control, which it turns on when it needs it. Or the higher the wattage your output, then this fan can ramp up. But it's kind of quiet, not too loud. for a small fan like this. So it's approximately 3.5 inch diameter. So it's a good machine. And I like, if you overload this thing, it's gonna give you some warnings here. The status, the batteries are going low, it will tell you. And the input level, load, GFCI. So you can enable, it overloads, you push this way, reset it, push this guy back. So I just want to talk about it, and it's back, and I think it will be back. It will be finally out if I find out there's no problem with it where I stored it. But it's a cool, dry place, climate control. So I don't think I'm gonna have any problem with this, unless the reason why I put it away, and which I don't even remember, but that time I started going with the Outback. So I started going to the 48 volt, went to the 48 volt. This was my 60 volt, and now comes the Magnum, and Magnum can go all the way to that 32 volt, my 24 volt ones. And I introduced a lot of them over the 48 volt, which is the Magnum 4348. Those are international ones. You've seen the videos. Go back to my playlist and check on that on Magnum inverters, or Magnum equipment, or off-grid inverters or equipment or products or devices. So this is the deal. Some of my old loyal friends, they've been around with me, and I'm over 10,000 subscribers now. And guys, I think it's almost 10,600 coming. These guys have seen videos about this guy, and I want to maintain that. And because of that, there's something coming that is going to be working with this guy. If nothing wrong with it when I put it away, then we will fire this thing up and show you what we can able to do, a new project for this bad boy right here at JW Soul USA. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be a fun video for all my old homies, my longtime subscribers, followers, and my close allies. And this is what it is. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the video, and we can see if we can bring back this Cotek to life. I said a lot of words. I called this inverter many times. Maybe the company would have sent me a big one, but I checked with the company. I think was based in New Jersey. So if you check the history of Cotek, well, Covet was one of my favorite vehicles, my dream car. But this guy, I checked with the company in New Jersey, and they were ridiculously expensive back then. So this is the early 2000s I'm talking about. Yeah. Mid 2000s, something like that. It was expensive, and they have them in different configuration. In a rack mount, they have a rack mount, like everybody's going to like a server rack stuff. Cotek has been already making those kind of inverters. Cotek already made those inverters back in the day, server racks. And now people talking about server racks. Maybe they have to check back the history about how this inverter is going to be on server racks and all that kind of stuff, and all these battery racks thing, whatever. Cotek, I respect this company. Yeah, I give it to them. Cotek. Now I think it's Samlex. if you find this video or someone pass this thing, tell them how much I care, how much I respect them, and how the technology, the ingenuity behind this stuff is just awesome. And I cannot stop stressing myself or stressing this to you guys how this machine is well built and really strong. If you want to prove me wrong, buy a Samlex and try yourself and tell me what you think. And they are not cheap. Even all the way today, we have different kind of inverters out there. Samlex is still expensive because of their reputation. Because one of the 12-volt system, which are really, really powerful on off-grid and vans and all these portable things people normally do, used to do like a server, sorry, for towers, communication, and repeaters. They used to have stuff like that as well. But that's enough. I'm not saying anything about this guy. Let's wait. We get the batteries for the project we want to do or that. And they coming from battery hookup. My close allies, my close friends. I like those guys. Nice company. If you haven't heard about battery hookup, check them out. And don't forget, my affiliate link I'll add in the description below. Click on that so you can have 5% of your purchase. And don't forget to apply your DIY on the coupon side. Just type DIY and it will give you another discount. If you don't know about that, on your checkout, always go on the coupon side. There's a section there. Type uppercase DIY. Boom, you push that in, then you have a discount right away. Plus, the link I'm going to be using here, that gives you another discount. So it's a win-win for you. All right? So we're all going to make the world better if you help me out on that link. And we can able to bring this channel with all the latest things you want to see. Like these guys here. We've been going through all this. I made a video yesterday. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So all about these guys, all of them, we talked about them. We covered a lot of series about these top companies here. Good friends, good people, good reputation. Outback, you know, these guys right here. I'll show you, you know, these people, integrity, and the respect I have for these companies. And I'm showing you little guy here, Magnum. I've built several off-grid inverters, portable systems, and this one is under construction. And I made that video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's gonna be, but it's a 600 watt. I've made a 12 volt, 1000 watt inverters and portable generators. They're all serving overseas flawlessly with all kind of good stuff. Good companies here. To our new friends here, I don't know if I've said the video kind of stopped, but to these guys here, so much customer service I've got from them, so much help and questions on certain things on smaller inverters, which I cannot, the 1000 watts, which I cannot stack up. I didn't know that you can stack it up. And I found out so much information and a great company here as well, which is the Outback, which I have so much respect for. This is my love. This is my first love on high-end machines, Outback. So this is why I created this one. It is on the Midnite case that does everything. And I have all the controls for that and all the controls for these guys. I respect these two companies so much. And Outback, thank you for your service. Because Outback even they add me into their link. they feature one of my videos on their website, which I really appreciate. Thank you so much, Outback, for all your service and all things, but it doesn't mean we have to be buyers. We have to try new components. This is technology, and we have to make sure that we're able to educate or show other people who doesn't have the upper hand to do that yet, but they have the ambition to do that. We pray for those people so that they can able afford, and so that they can able to do and experience what we already experience here. We already experience for ourselves. But all in all, thank you to Cotek for your first love, for your pure sine wave, which is the real pure sine wave. I used to have something which is not a pure sine wave. I tried modified sine wave first, and I went to pure sine wave. I don't like modified sine wave. But anyway, thank you, Cotek. Thank you to all these new friends we are making here as a history. And I can't abandon my new friends and my old friends. I can still maintain them, and I hope to work with them in the future. But I have to show other things that people don't even know about. Since this channel is about talking about technology and improving other people's lives in DIY and off-grid systems. And I've covered the grid tie system as well with other stuff. You will see that on the end of the video, or on the right side at the top here on the video here, right here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Thanks for watching. Love you guys all. Sorry for the videos too long, but I gotta give it to my boys and give it to these companies because I work with them. All right, bye for now.